start. Welcome to the RE workgroup meeting. Yep, typical agenda, check action items from last meeting. That's short, there were none. Review working group changes, and here we have a few. Hey, what's going on? Let's skip the first one because that comes later on the agenda anyway. Stratos default branch name. I think there were a few, change requests. I guess this branch name is not correct. Should be developed. And
okay,
there are unrelated changes. Otherwise, no problem.
I will fix that in a few minutes. My apologies.
Good. Then there is someone who wants to join the CLI working group as a reviewer. Oh, I don't know how to pronounce it. João Viegas. Oh.
Wow, I would
Okay.
propose, but
Wow. He opened also a massive PR. We can talk a little bit later about it. So we have already a few +1, and for reviewer, I think it was reviewer. Yeah, I would have no concerns. Any concerns? Otherwise, I would merge it. Okay, I will add later the welcome sentence. Then somebody wants to join the build packs and stacks area. That's also very good. If I remember correctly, that was also reviewer. Yep. And that's just name change.
There was no reviewers section before, so I kind of like added that in.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay.
That's how it works. Checks are through. Then I guess we can merge that as well.
I was going to say, I know that guy.
And finally, 3 more colleagues as reviewers for Stratos. That's now in the reviewers section. Yeah, perfect. There are already 2 + 1. My comments are in, and it has to be rebased due to conflicts. Yeah, sure. Because we just merged something else. So that one has to wait a bit, but I can do that. No, I cannot do it because it comes from a different, So I have to ask for a review, rebase. And then I can merge it as well. Good. Then I can give a short update on 2 RFCs where we at SAP are working on. First one is server credential binding rotation for applications in order to make it roll out without disruptions for users because DB constraints have to be removed from the database and moved into the business logic to allow multiple service bindings per app instance and application. It was a multi-step rollout. The CF API implementation is meanwhile finished and merged, but is not yet released. It will then ship with the next copy release 120. That's then so far in, and it would be possible to use this feature What is missing is still the CLI implementation. In the RFC, there were some proposals which commands should be added and modified and get more options. That will probably take some time due to capacity on our side, unless somebody else wants to join here and help in the implementation. Cloud controller blob store type. We have meanwhile one test environment running on Azure. That's the one where we want to switch to this new storage type. The implementation in the cloud controller is nearly finished. There are still some open points regarding how to create the many configuration files. And once this is in, then the next step, yeah, as I said, is testing it on this SCAR environment. And there was a discussion about the Bosch storage CLI repo consolidation. Currently, there are 5 repos for the different YAS layers, and the idea to put all 5 of them in one single repository has been discussed in the foundational infrastructure working group with colleagues from the Bosch team. And yeah, we have here an idea, and we will start on that. Then there is a large bunch of recently accepted RFCs. They have been agreed. I think nobody is yet working on them. It's the Open API spec for v3, enhanced stack handling, custom stacks functionality, and then there was this AI tooling disclosure, and here Greg opened a PR with some. Yeah, I haven't looked at it yet with some text, how to handle it in for application runtime interfaces working group. Don't know how to deal with that. Keep it open for some time so that everybody can think about it. Advertise it maybe in the RE Slack channel. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll post about it in the Slack channel.
Okay, then let's do it like this. Yep, build packs and stacks. There is some effort to revive the build packs and stacks for CF Linux FS4 because basically since nearly half a year, no updates have been shipped anymore. I just heard first progress can be seen, and there's a Go build pack release, and yeah, hopefully the other ones are following. I think the Java build pack is still making trouble because nobody knows anymore where the CI pipelines are located, and probably that has to be set up from scratch. Yeah, and some Diego team members from SAP are working on building a stack CF Linux FS5, or have started to work on that. Yep. Then
For the FS Linux 5 one, do they have like a separate channel that they're discussing the work in that, or is that on Slack, or?
It should be in the build packs channel. Since
Okay.
the colleagues are in Diego, it might also show up in the Diego channel. I don't know, but I can also give them a slight hint that it would be good to talk about doing good things and talk about, right? That's the right approach. Okay, then CLI, there was this massive PR that plus some discussion about how to go on with V8 Go version workflow. because plugins cannot be updated anymore, the way how they have been built. And yeah, unfortunately, nobody from the CLI area is currently here. Yeah, Greg, you said you wanted to talk to them and maybe.
Yeah, there's definitely been some discussion on Slack. I think like we have an understanding of what the like underlying situation is here with Go module major versions, which is discussed in this PR and the issue, because there's also an issue that this was based off of. So I'll try to post some updates based on some conversations that are maybe happening in private channels or something that I've seen. But I think this PR is massive, but the majority of it is just changing import paths.
Yeah.
So the actual like functional change is not that big. So there are definitely folks looking at it. I can't guarantee that like stuff will actually come of it, because I know people have looked at it before and gotten scared away because of how big a change it is. But yeah, there's definitely it's an area of active discussion at least.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, then a few copy topics. There's some of you may remember we have implemented a optional Puma health check that is not a simple calling the health endpoint, and if it doesn't respond after 2 times restarting the cloud controller VM or process, but instead there is a status endpoint that gives a little bit more insight, and if the cloud controller is still responding to requests, so it's not halted or completely blocked on a consumed, let's say, connection pool or something like that, then the health endpoint for a certain amount of time, I don't remember, 10 minutes or something like that, will still keep the VM running, hoping that this is just a load peak. And we have run some tests, and that worked out pretty well. So there are less 502s, and in, let's say, productive landscapes, if the cloud controllers start to crash early, then you have this domino effect that the load on the other threads, and the same situation happens again. So it's a bit more resilient. Of course, it doesn't help against permanent overload. That can't work out. But for peak loads, and we see that somebody is running a load test or some spikes here and there, some pipelines that unfortunately run synchronized. It helps, and there's now a PR in CF deployment that suggests an ops file to enable that, and the question came up whether we should continue with such an ops file, or whether we should maybe set the default and use this new health check. So we have it running in production on all of our foundations on Puma. It doesn't work on Sin at all. Yeah, if you have thoughts, maybe you can comment, because this way we could avoid putting more and more ops files into CF deployment about flags that maybe are not necessary, because good defaults exist. And if there's a reason to change it, you can do it anyway with an own ops file. I mean, this option doesn't go away. So maybe you think about it and
Clean
comment on
defaults
the
sounds
PR.
good. Sounds logical. I don't really have anything to add.
Okay. Good. Then there's an issue open for some time to remove Sin eventually. And there was a comment that it cannot be done before October, but now we have October, and I want to raise against the question whether somebody would veto against removing Sin. I mean, the background here is that Sin blocks currently Sinatra updates, and that library shows up in security scans on our side, and here's also some bug linked that might be related or might be fixed if we remove Sin. So if nobody strongly objects, we would open a PR to remove it.
I think it's better to open a PR to remove it and get that Sinatra back to maintain sooner.
Yeah, Sinatra won't go away until V2 is gone, but at least we can update it again. I mean, that's a step in the right direction. So I don't hear a veto.
Well, that comment was from Seth. So what does Seth say?
Yeah, I think for us it's still simplest if I think April is when we are going to stop supporting Thin. That's not a veto. I will talk to the rest of the team and see if we can figure out a plan to support this.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, it would be simplest to not do this until April, but I understand we would like to also remove Thin if possible sooner than that as well. But so yeah,
Are
I'll
there
sync up with the
any
rest.
CVE risks or like security risks to other than it being unmaintained, the Sinatra version upgrade?
I'm not aware of a CVE. Also for us, security results come up if there is a CVE. I would have to look it up. And second, when we do not update anymore a library for which a newer version is available, there are certain rules how long that can last, and otherwise they show up.
In my mind, like that would be the true forcing function for really having to remove it, right? Like, so if it's not a problem yet, maybe wait longer.
Yep. Is there an issue with mentioning CVEs on such a bug? No, right? They are anyway public. So if I find something in these reports, I would add them to the bug. And I mean, removing Sin is probably a bigger PR. So if we know there comes a veto, we would not start with it now. Otherwise, we have to rebase it again. That's no fun. Just from the practical work. But yeah, from our point of view, the sooner it's gone, the better. Good. And maybe Johannes can explain that in more detail.
Yeah, we had a report of a user that like created like a bunch of tasks in parallel. And I was able to reproduce that issue. Basically, you can exceed a quota. And then the unfortunate thing is you run, for example, you run two tasks. The second task would exceed the quota. Then the second task will fail, but it will actually be still executed in Diego. Because there's the quota will be checked two times, once when the task is created and once when the state is updated from pending to running. So you can basically, exceed the quota easily, and then the task will run, but it is reported as failed. Not sure if you have seen similar cases in the past. I mean, we recommended the user to increase the quota, so to not see those errors. But the question is rather how to handle this correctly. If we need to consider pending tasks as well, if we need to update the validation logic. Yeah, I don't know. I think there are different approaches which we could choose here. That's basically, Stephan, if you scroll down a bit, basically see like you basically see here you see the second task is in state failed, but when you look at the logs, it's actually running. Like here, you can see the CF logs output, and there it's actually running. I mean, the scenario is not very like, it's just like if you do like a bulk scheduling of tasks within like the same second or like within 1 or 2 seconds. But yeah, would be nice if we would have some opinions on that.
Yeah, I mean, I think the bigger issue is that you're able to exceed your quota. Like theoretically, that quota exists for a reason.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, for sure you shouldn't exceed a quota, but it's like, yeah. I guess we'll scratch our heads and try to come up with something.
Okay. That's basically it from our side. Any topics you want to talk about that are not on the agenda?
Maybe one
Okay.
thing that just came up, the new Bosch bootloader version is out and it has updated Azure VM types. And well, it's just failing on the SCAR Azure test environment because we need to adapt the quotas. But then we
Okay.
have the latest and greatest Azure VMs.
Okay. Good. Then I think we are done for today. Have a nice day and see you in a few weeks in the copy open office hour.
Thank you.
Okay.
See you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Yes.